Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 15 is entitled as Purushottama Vidya, Purushottama Yogam. Sloka 15, Part 13. Sarvasya cāhaṁ hṛdi sanniviṣṭo mattaḥ smṛtir jñānam apohanaṁ ca vedaiś sarvair aham vedyo vedānta-kṛd veda-vid cāham. We are in the last line of this sloka where it says vedānta-kṛd veda-vid cāham. I am indeed the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. In the previous line, vedaiś sarvair aham vedyo, we learned that the supreme absolute truth, the Brahman, Krishna, to be known only through the Vedas, which is the Shabda Pramanam, not through Pratyaksham or Anumanam. We also learned the object of knowledge of the Vedas is about Krishna alone. He is the focus of the Vedas. He is the main personality who's been declared in all the Vedas. And we also learned that Vedas speaks only of Krishna. Now in the fourth line, vedānta-kṛd, this term has two explanations. Let's see both, as they both are very informative. First explanation is I am the compiler of the Vedanta. I am the one who produced the final conclusion. Anta means last, end, final. Vedanta means I am the one who produced the conclusion of the Vedas, that is Vedanta Sutra, by taking the form of Badarayana. Badarayana is none other than Vedavyasa. As it is said, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Vedavyasa is Vishnu, and that Vishnu incarnated as Vedavyasa. And Vedavyasa is the one who compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Earlier we saw there are 6 schools of philosophy: Nyaya, Mimamsa, Yoga, Sankhya, Vaisheshika and Vedanta. That Vedanta, known as Vedanta Sutra, is compiled by Vedavyasa. Over there it is said Tattu Samanvayat. Vishnu is the subject of the Vedas. Vishnu is the conclusion because of the agreement of other scriptures as well. But others will explain the meaning of the Vedas in completely different way, which is actually not accepted, because the Lord himself appeared as Vedavyasa and compiled the Vedanta Sutra and mentioned over there Tattu Samanvayat, that the focus and conclusion of Vedas is Vishnu. That's the first interpretation of vedānta-kṛd, that the Lord is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The second interpretation of vedānta-kṛd is he is the bestower of the fruits described in the Vedas. Anta means end, Kṛt means result, means the final result that is mentioned in the Vedas are given by the Supreme Lord. As we already studied in the 9th chapter, 24th sloka, aham hi sarva jñānam bhokta ca prabhureva ca. That is, I am the principal deity of any worship and rites, and I alone the bestower of rewards. So here in this interpretation, vedānta is interpreted as the fruits or the rewards specified in the Vedas. It has been stated earlier that all the Vedas speaks only of Krishna, hence it is clear that he is the self of all the gods, and that therefore only Krishna is worshipped through all the works, karmas. Therefore, vedānta-kṛd means he, that is Krishna, only the bestower of the fruits of the works. So we saw two interpretations. One is vedānta-kṛd means he is the compiler of Vedanta, and the second meaning we saw is he is the bestower of the fruits that described in the Vedas when one performs those karmas mentioned in the Vedas. Then one might ask a question, what about statements that mentioned in the scriptures like Indram yajata, Varunam yajata, Indra is worshipped, Varuna is worshipped, and they are the givers of the results. So why can't we say they are the one who is actually giving the results of one's karma? Karma means the activities that's performed based on the section mentioned in the Vedas, different yagas and yagyas and so forth. Why can't it be them directly? How can we say that it is Krishna who's the bestower of the results? Well, we have to refresh our previous chapter, chapter 7, Sloka 21, where Krishna said, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitam ichchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadami aham. And in the next sloka, sataya shraddhaya yukta tasya aradhanam ihate labate cha tatha cāhaṁ mayeva vihitan hitan. In these slokas, Krishna said that whoever desires worshipping certain devata, I make their faith steady towards that particular devata. And with that faith, one sincerely worships that particular devata to obtain whatever he or she desires, and ultimately receives the benediction. But in actuality, these benedictions are not given directly by the devatas, but it is me who bestow those benedictions through these devatas. Now the question comes, why do we say the devatas are not giving? How do we understand it's you who are the one who's giving the benediction to the devotees of the devatas? Well, let's take an example. Say a person who's interested to attain heaven, Swarga, performs jñānam yaga, as it is mentioned in the Vedas. A person who performs such yaga will obtain heaven. But the problem is, what in case if Indra is no more, is dead, he left his body right after one performs jñānam yaga? He won't be there to give the result that this person or his devotees wants to obtain. But the scriptures are true. The scripture says one who does certain activities, karma as it's mentioned in the Vedas, they will get the result that's been mentioned in the Vedas as well. There is no doubt in that. But in this scenario, I perform jñānam yaga. It's my unfortunate situation that Indra is no more. Pralaya happened and he is finished. Let's not be shocked by hearing Indra will be gone, dead, because we should know that Indra, the devatas, are all living entities. They are much better in their position and status than living entities of this world. That's the only difference. But we will also die, they will also die. Compared to us, they live longer duration. That's all. But when the pralaya happens, Indra will be gone. But what will happen to the yaga that I did to attain the heaven? It cannot go waste, as it is mentioned in the Vedas. The answer is the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is the Antaratma of Indra, remembers what we did, and he bestows the result. He is not depending on Indra or anyone else in that situation. Therefore, we can understand it is Krishna who is the bestower of the result of an action. Next, veda-vid cāham. I am the knower of the Vedas. Now, to understand this, we have to learn two terms. One is ayoga vivacheda and another one is anyoga vivacheda. Vivacheda means that which differentiates, that which separates. Yoga means connects, union. Ayoga means that which does not unite, connect. An example of ayoga is, say, Rama doesn't have the skills of archery. That means Rama has no relation or union with archery. Vivacheda means it negates what has been said earlier, which means Rama doesn't have the skills of archery is not right. This is called ayoga vivacheda. Now let's try to understand the second one, anyoga vivacheda. That is, yes, I agree that Rama has the skills of archery. He is an archer. But Arjuna is also an archer. Karna is also an archer. Anyoga means besides the conjunction of this, others has this conjunction as well. It is not only Rama who is an archer, but others are also having the same archery skills. When we say anyoga vivacheda, that means the anyoga, that is, I agree Rama is an archer, but Arjuna and Karna are also archer. That is anyogam. Vivacheda is, no, Rama alone is the archer. That statement which negates the previous one is known as anyoga vivacheda. Why are we discussing this now? Because in Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, it is said Brahman is the cause of this Jagat. The absolute truth is the cause of this world, this universe. This statement is ayoga vivacheda. Then the question arises that, well, Brahma, Indra, Varuna, etc. are also cause of this Jagat in some way or the other. Then the response comes, no, it is just only Brahman, the cause of this Jagat. That is anyoga vivachedam. So let's apply this into veda-vid cāham. One says that Brahman has not realized, does not know Vedas. Answer is no, Brahman knows Vedas. That is ayoga vivacheda. Here the discussion is not to prove or say that Brahman, Krishna, knows Vedas or doesn't know Vedas. That is not the question raised here. Therefore, it is not ayoga vivacheda. Therefore, we cannot interpret this as I have knowledge of Vedas. This is a unnecessary question. Doesn't add any value to this. As there cannot be a situation where Krishna did not know the Vedas. Then one may ask, okay, Krishna knows Vedas. There was never a time that he does not know Vedas. But what about others? There are many who have studied Vedas, who recite Vedas. What about them? There are others who knows Vedas also. So it is not only Krishna. So the answer is no, it is only the Lord who knows the Vedas. Like the example that we saw. What about Arjuna? What about Karna? Then we applied Anyoga Vivacheda, that is, no, it is only Rama who knows archery. That was an example given to understand the differences between Ayoga Vivacheda and Anyoga Vivacheda. So let's further understand the Anyoga Vivacheda, which is what has been mentioned here by Krishna. If we interpretate that Krishna alone is the knower of the Vedas, it means that others do not know the Vedas. So what is Krishna trying to say here then? All the persons who know the meaning of the Vedas as explained by Krishna earlier, that all Vedas speaks only of him, I am to be known only through the Vedas, I am the object of knowledge of the Vedas, are the only ones considered to be veda-vid, knowers of the Veda. And those who do not realize this, who give their own interpretation to the Vedas, are not knowers of the Vedas. Thus, it is clear that many are knowers of the Vedas, but fewer are knowers of Vedas as it is. That I alone to be the knower of the Vedas. In essence, what Krishna is saying here is that being the one who knower of the Vedas, in essence, learn from me alone the essence of the Vedas. To summarize, Krishna says in the Sloka, I am seated in the heart of all beings. Sun, moon, Agni, earth, and all other. Knowledge causes the performance of an action, and knowledge also causes the prevention of an action. Heart is the place where from knowledge springs. Dwelling in the heart, I make everything function through my will. Hence, I am the self of all these. From me arise remembrance, knowledge, lack of knowledge, conjuncture, etc. I alone am to be known through the Vedas. The fruits the Vedas speak of are granted only by me. I am the compiler of Vedanta. Also, I alone am the knower of the Vedas. We took some time to complete this sloka, but the information that is being shared here are very potent, very important, as there is no point in just reading Bhagavad Gita on a surface level. We have to go deep into it to really relish what has been said in each of this sloka, in each of the lines in the sloka, in each of the words in the sloka. In the further upcoming slokas, Krishna takes this sloka that we learned into the further details, that the essence of all the Vedas is to understand that Sri Krishna is Purushottama. Before explaining about Purushottama, about himself, in the next sloka is going to speak about Purushas, who are of two categories. One is called Kshara, another one is called Akshara. These are two types of living entities, which will be explained in the next sloka. Sarvasya cāham hṛdi sanniviṣṭah mattaḥ smṛtir jñānam apohanaṁ ca vedaiś sarvair aham eva vedyo vedānta-kṛd veda-vid cāham. Namaste. Hare Krishna.